Do you think you know Machiavellianism? If your answer is yes, let's take a closer look at that idea together. We all know Machiavelli from social media and his famous book The Prince, right? Well, has anyone here read any of his other works? I don't think so. If you had, you would know that he actually hated monarchy and was a strict Republican. What? Surprised, right? Because his other works are less popular, people judge his philosophy entirely based on The Prince. And unfortunately, the information circulating is incomplete and misleading. Machiavelli was labeled a devil for centuries because of his book The Prince, which deals with ruthless but realistic topics. Now it's being marketed to us under the name dark psychology. Man, I'm really tired of seeing this. You must have heard of the 3 personality traits known as the dark triad in psychology. These are Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy. First, Machiavellianism. People with this personality trait are cold-blooded and hide their emotions. This is because emotions can put them at a disadvantage. Don't confuse this with emotional control and stoicism. There's a world of difference between the two. These people constantly make long-term plans and live their lives like a game of chess. In my experience, they have very few genuine and sincere relationships. Here, under the name dark psychology, they explain this personality trait to everyone. I don't blame those who explain it, my friend. We live in a capitalist system. Ultimately, every service has its buyer. I believe that every human being has a natural amount of this trait, but not to the extent that is often exaggerated. Now let's talk about narcissism. These people are burning with the need for approval. They are extremely sensitive to criticism. Even if it's your closest friend, your lover, or even a family member, you can observe extreme changes in their mood with your own eyes at the slightest criticism. These people are in love with themselves. Everything they do is always the right thing and the thing that should be done for them. Alright, buddy, you're God 2.0. Calm down. I'm not judging. This could also be something caused by a neurological problem. But man, nowadays everyone thinks they're so smart and exhibits narcissistic traits. I think this is definitely a problem caused by social media. People's perception of reality has been completely destroyed. Is it possible to fix this? Honestly, I don't know. And psychopathy. These individuals have very little empathy. They are highly impulsive, which leads them to engage in risky behaviors, and they generally feel no guilt for their actions. I don't want to comment too much on this topic. It could be a disorder, and I'm not an expert. Am I? As you can see, I believe that when we analyze the dark triad, Machiavellianism is actually a result of psychopathy and narcissism. It is not a personality trait that can exist on its own. People admire those who possess this dark triad and feel they must be like them to be powerful. I don't blame them. After all, this is a situation imposed on our minds by social media. And of course, the most famous feature of Machiavellianism, manipulation. If I need to give an example, actually, the best example will happen right now. Let's do a test based on your reaction to this video. If you're a narcissist, you'll say, "I know better than this guy," and skip the video without liking it. If you're a psychopath, you'll close the video without caring about the effort put into it. But if you're a true Machiavellian, you'll like this video. Because you're smart enough to know that the growth of this channel will eventually benefit you with more useful content in the future. Your move. Checkmate. Now that I've played my little game, let's get back to the main topic. Machiavelli's philosophy is about politics and power, nothing more. What he really talks about is how optimal state governance should be. The literal translation of Machiavelli's The Prince is On Principalities. It is actually a text he wrote during a crisis, analyzing people and governments, using his own knowledge to help the current prince maintain his authority. He does not reveal his true thoughts. In fact, this book was published after his death. Most of the observations in the book remain valid even for people today, which is proof of why the book had such a huge impact. Yes, perhaps I have gone on a bit too long, but now we can move on to our main topic, Machiavelli's true masterpiece, Discourses on Livy. In this work, Machiavelli defends the Republic, in stark contrast to the Prince. He is just as certain about human selfishness in this book, but there is a slight nuance. In The Prince, he says, people must be ruled by fear because they are bad, ungrateful, and dangerous. In Discourses, he says, because people are selfish, laws are needed to balance them. He demonstrates his famous cunning by saying that people are wiser and fairer than princes, and that with the right laws, this selfishness will turn into love for the homeland and the common good. Man, this man's intelligence is truly on another level, don't you agree? Considering people's selfishness, he analyzed how this would affect Republican governance. When we think about modern society, it seems like a very valid conclusion. The main theme of The Prince is seizing and maintaining power. In discourses, it's ensuring the state's eternal survival. What was one of the characteristics of Machiavellianism? Long-term thinking, right? In short, the book that reveals Machiavelli's true thoughts is Discourses on Livy, not The Prince. Sorry, pop culture. In conclusion, my friend, The Prince was an emergency pill, but we try to take that pill again and again every day, even though we are not sick. In fact, this pill is being forced down our throats. Instead of waking up every morning saying, "What will I produce today?" we wake up saying, "Who will I defeat today?" And we are becoming increasingly paranoid. Are you aware of this? If Machiavelli were alive today, he would be deeply shaken to see his philosophy so degraded and exploited by people with evil intentions, I guess. But it's up to us to break this chain. See you in the next video.